Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia and welcome to our live video series. Those of you that are just joining us on Wednesday today, Wednesday is Orange Shirt Day, that's why I'm wearing this. It's not because I have incredible fashion sense, because I definitely do not. Anyways, we are here, every weekday we do a live video. Today we're doing EVs. Now we've done EVs a lot in the past, and we're gonna do EVs a lot in the future. So we'll talk about that. If you're just joining us and you wanna get to sort of the meat of the video, maybe you're not live with us, you can skip to the 3-minute mark. But before you do that, if you want to join us live, let me show you how to do that, because sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, and I'll just show you how to do that, and we'll do that right now. Okay, whoops, I didn't flip the camera. There we go. Flip the camera. There we go. Hey Albert, how are you? All right, a couple of our regulars are just joining in. So if you want to join us live, you just go to our YouTube page. You're probably already on it, unless our video is embedded in somebody else's site. So just go to YouTube, go to the search bar, search for Brantford Kia. You can see our little logo there. That's us. And if I refresh the page around 2 o'clock, which is what I'm doing right now, sometimes you'll see the video right here on the homepage, like that happened today. If that doesn't happen, no big deal. You can just jump around to the video section, which is right here, and it will be the first video that's live. So like I said, weekdays at 2 o'clock, we do these videos, and the decision has been made to basically continue these for a while. We're gonna get back to doing a lot of the other things we've done, but like I said, over some time we were sort of deciding what we're gonna continue to do. We started these during COVID times, and that's what happened. So we're going into the live video now. If you are joining us again for the very first time, feel free to drop a comment. Just let me know, hey, it's first time here, whatever you want. Feel free to comment, that's what people do, and I will see those comments. I blew that up a little bit because hopefully I can see your comments over there. Sometimes they don't get to the comments the second you ask them. They do show up on my little camera screen here, but sometimes they disappear before I can get to them. So that big screen over there is gonna help me get to them. And several times throughout the video, I will come back to those. So what we do is we stick around for about a half an hour. Sometimes at the 30-minute mark, we go a little off topic, or if you have a lot of questions, we'll stay with you for a while, and we'll continue to answer questions. So like I said, we're gonna sort of kill some time till the 3-minute mark here, and allow an audience to join. The funny thing with our live videos is EVs are actually a little bit less popular for a live video than something like a Kia Seltos or something else, which is interesting because there's lots of information on the Kia Seltos. There's a little bit less on the EVs. So we may have a few less people live, but they tend to do well after they go live. So if you're joining us and you're not live and you want to ask a question, just ask it in the comments below this video, and I'll continue to try to keep up with them, and we'll do more live videos as we come in. So again, we'll just let our audience build for another 20 seconds here. At the 3-minute mark, we'll get going. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. And all right, a couple of regulars are still here. Okay. So before I got 10 seconds to kill, let's do that. Cool, I hate Kia Soul. Oh, that must be rough. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. 3-minute mark, here we go. What do we have in front of us here? First of all, these are the 2021 Kia Soul EVs. Now, right off the bat, if you're watching from the States, while I was on vacation, I read a headline that the Americans may not be getting the Kia Soul EV at all. And that's a shame because they are fantastic cars. This won World Urban Car of the Year. It's kind of a big award. You know, they're very, very good cars. A lot of awards are only American. They're only known to Americans, but World Car of the Year is actually a pretty big international award. And, you know, like you won't see it winning Motor Trend Car of the Year kind of thing because right now it's not an American car, and I don't know if it will come. Just full disclosure here, I own that vehicle. That is not my vehicle, but it's basically identical to mine. We'll talk about some differences there. So I've been driving this car for about a year. I know these cars. Brantford Kia as a whole has been a leader on EVs. So we really try to, you know, get you the best information we can. We do these types of videos so you can ask us your questions. I don't think many people have the courage to go online and talk about EVs for a half an hour, but we've done these cars. And it's not just myself doing these videos. We do a lot of things right with EVs. So real quick, just a couple of concerns I have with if you're buying an EV. It sounds silly, but one, buy from us. And why? Because we know these cars inside and out. You're gonna find salespeople that tell you the sales line, say what they need to know, and then you're gonna come back with a question and they will not have the answers. We've seen that happen in this area. People say, oh, I bought a car, you know, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours away. We sell cars all over the province, EVs especially, all over the province. And we find people who reach out to me online and they went to their local dealer instead of coming to us, and now they're having some questions and they can't get answers, and that can be an issue. We also, as a dealership, became experts on these cars, not just from my level here, but also in the service department. I've had a customer call me, or will now be a customer for us, call me, and they went to another service shop to get their car serviced, and they were charged significantly more for some of the maintenance things than they were expecting, and that's because some of these dealerships are setting maintenance prices for EVs, whether it's a dealership or a separate site, that are well higher than what we do here at Brantford Kia. We understand the maintenance needs. We understand that an EV buyer is expecting a reduced maintenance cost, so we explain clearly what we're doing. We charge a fair price for it, and I think you'll be very happy with our service department here as well, or at least if you can't service with us, because maybe you're several hours away. Again, buying the car from us, you can call us anytime, you can connect with me anytime. We can talk about what your vehicle needs for service, we can talk about those types of things. And again, having a shop inspect your car is far better than me on the internet, but you can get some guidance from us, and that is a helpful thing. So real quick, it sounds silly, but you really do need to buy it from us. Hey, Anna's here. Oh, Anna doesn't want to be on video. She almost joined us there in the door. Anyways, so that's why I want to talk about these cars. So what we're going to do today is, real quickly, what's new for 2021. I want to talk about what's coming in. And just give me 1 second. And I'm going to just do one thing here. All right. I'm going to put someone on a timeout. There we go. Just getting rid of a commenter that I don't need right now. Okay. So what we're doing here is we are talking about two 2021 model cars. So if you've watched anything on the Kia Soul EV, especially if it's one of our videos, Kia Soul EVs are unchanged from the 2020 model to the 2021. The only difference is right here. This used to just be an indented area, now it is a teal area. So you can see both of these cars at first glance are 2021 models. Everything else you've ever watched, especially if it's from us, on these cars is still current. So there is no change in that information. If you are looking, maybe I'll just throw it out there. There's 14 of you online. Does anybody want to tell me what the most common complaint about an EV is? Go ahead, throw it out. I know it takes you guys a couple seconds to type it in, so I'll wait for you for a second. I'm just going to review the comments here. Sales rep Anna, come back. So Albert thinks range is the most common question or complaint, which was a logical answer. Does anybody else have an idea of what the most common complaint for an EV is? This is an interesting thing that has changed since we first started selling EVs until now. Glad you're back. There we go. Reliability, good question again. The very biggest question we have with EVs has nothing to do with the cars themselves. Most EV buyers have a pretty good idea of what they are. They want to, answer some more in-depth questions, which is what we do. That's what I sort of specialize in over here. The biggest question we have about EVs is, how come I can't get one? And we have had some issues getting EVs. That is absolutely the case. And there's a lot of reasons why. I don't have to go into them in this video. But I want you to know, as an EV dealer, Kia Canada also recognizes us as a leader in EV vehicles. We have 5 of these Kia Soul EVs in stock right now. We have 9 Kia Niro EVs in transit. That means we have a VIN number. These are real cars that are coming to our dealership. 3 of those are already pre-sold. It is very common that we do pre-sell electric vehicles before they get here. So, did I just start? No, I've been here for a while, 8 minutes now. So some of these EVs, people say they're hard to get. Again, we have 9 EV Niros in shipment. 3 of them are pre-sold. We kind of expect, depending on when they arrive, that we could sell all of them. Some of them are at sea, some of them are a little closer. You will see some EVs probably showing up in the next week or so. Those are probably the sold units. But we can get you an EV. This is not a significant wait anymore, because if you want to leave today, I mean, you could come in tomorrow morning, buy this car, we could probably give it to you by tomorrow night. You just have to get a license, those kinds of things. So you could drive an EV tomorrow from our dealership. And same with Niro EV. The Niro EV seems to be a very in-demand vehicle. Some people like and don't like the Soul for various reasons. The Niro EV is coming in. If you want a PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, they are virtually impossible to find. We just sold 2 of those. We had 2 in and sold them immediately. We have 2 more coming in. If you want a regular Niro, we've got 2 more of those coming in as well. So EV availability is the biggest problem. We have them. We will get them. Let's dig into the cars. If anybody has any questions, if there's something you want to know about the car, let me know right off the bat. I'll jump right in. We've done a number of these videos in the past, so I don't want to bore you with things you've already seen before, but I will talk about various things. Let's talk range real quickly. Both these cars are rated for different range. We have 2 available ranges in Canada. That one is rated for 383 kilometers of range. This one is rated for 248 kilometers of range. Now let's talk range for a second. And when I talk range, let's just jump in and look at the actual number. So again, rated range is 383 kilometers. But here's the thing with Kias. I'm gonna step on the brake, turn on the car. Watch it come to life. On the left side, you will see a range number, 451. Wait a minute, I said 383. 451 is a pretty common range for this car in the summer. It's at about 99% this car. I did not do anything special to get it here. It's only got 25 kilometers on it, so it's not reading a whole lot of driving habits. But this car at 450-ish kilometers is a pretty common range number. We have a regular Nero EV buyer who is regularly over 500 kilometers of range with the same battery, same motor in his vehicle in the Nero EV. So 450 up to 500, even over 500 is attainable. For anything over 400 is pretty regular in the summer. In the winter, we can talk about winter range. We'll get to that in a little bit. You do lose some range for various reasons, and we'll talk about why and how and all those things. But don't be surprised if you hop in your Kia Soul and see a significantly more range, and that's one of the benefits Kia EVs have over other vehicles. While we're in here, let's take a look at everything. In that center display screen, you can sort of see this squared off area here. That is a big 7-inch color display. Is Kia in general better now in delivery? Oh, let me just read that question again. In EV delivery, last year was worse. Okay, so I literally just covered that point. I don't know how Kia overall worldwide, I don't know how Kia Canada is in EV delivery. I know wait times have been crazy in the past. I waited for my own EV for a little bit, and the only reason I got it a month and a half early is because I ended up switching colors, and I just had some inside information knowing that there was a gray one available instead of a blue one, which is what I was originally wanted. EVs, just real quick, 5 Soul EVs in stock, plus we have a service shuttle, which may or may not be for sale, so that's 6. And we have 9 Nero EVs on the way. 3 of them are pre-sold. If you're interested in a Soul EV or Nero EV, connect with us soon. Basically, there's still a government discount on these cars, $5,000 from the government, national government, and that is expected to run out at some point. And the Nero EVs that are coming in, we often pre-sell those cars. So we are going to do our best to sell those before they arrive. But you will be able to see one, touch one, get in one, those kinds of things, and we'll be able to show you them on videos. So wait time, we have several at sea, we have some on transit on a train, and we will be seeing them soon. So that's EV availability at this dealership is not really an issue right now. Okay, coming over here, I want to show you the 10.25-inch screen. That is standard on every Soul EV. So it's also going to be standard now on the Nero EV. Real quick update, we're in a 2021 Soul EV. The Neros we're getting are called 2020s. They are the same model year. They are current model year, just the way COVID and everything else has worked out worldwide. The current vehicles are going to be 2021 Kia Soul, 2020 Kia Nero. And you will also get this screen in the Kia Nero EV for the first time for 2020. So in addition to getting this screen, you also have a number of features in here. Now, you may not have a sound and mood lamp in the Nero. You will have a lot of the features you have here. The Nero plug-in hybrid has the ability to have multiple users, I believe. I believe that was the one we saw. The Seltos has multiple users on here. So same software here in the Soul EV, but of course you can upgrade. You get 10 years of free map upgrades on this, and of course that map looks fantastic in this full size here. Have I got a raise yet? Sure I did. I always get a raise. I get raises every time you guys buy a car. That's how it works here. You can see how you can sort of coordinate these things. Now you can go, what used to be sort of our 8-inch screen, you can set this up on this big 10.25-inch screen, and you can cycle through whatever you want to see here. So if just a clock, if you want to do other things, you can sort of choose a whole bunch of information on there. So lots of information to be shown here. Multiple users in the EV. So there you go. Greg Siddles just jumped in. He's got an EV. So you can get multiple users in the Nero EV, according to one of our customers there. I can't remember because I don't think I've seen a 2020 Nero EV yet, but we have seen the PHEVs. So there we go. And you can change all of these types of things in this system, which is kind of a good system. So you still get the full screen here. If you want to go back to the full map, you can get the full map just like that. A lot of great features. You can get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which was full screen. Somebody did inform me, and I forgot to check before this video, that you could still also get it to be the 1/3, 2/3 section. So I have to dig in the settings, and I won't do that in a live video and bore you guys, but that may be a possibility as well now. Coming down here, I'm just going to turn the climate system on. It is a automatic climate control system, so you can see it right there. There is a driver-only mode. I want to just say, it's not worth freezing or boiling your guests. You save a kilometer, maybe 2 kilometers on a full charge. Let me just turn the fan down. You save a kilometer, maybe 2 kilometers on a full charge by switching to that driver-only mode. It does help in the EVs, the PHEVs. It can leave you on electric power a little longer. It's something that's cool in the EV, but it's not something you really want to freeze or roast your passengers out because it doesn't make that much difference. Does the driver only affect the heating? No, the seating HVAC. So we'll talk about that in a second. So no, that is purely the vents being used. This one is currently on, that one is currently off. That one over there is also off. We'll get a little better shot of them here. So I just have literally, for instance, if it's my upper level, this vent here and this vent here. If it was feet, it would just be my feet. If it was a mixture between, you kind of get the idea. Down here on the limited model, you do have heated and ventilated seats. So the ventilated seat is controlled here. My passenger can still do the same thing with theirs, and they have full control over that on their own. Ventilated seats in this this car, I guess I didn't really realize this until I started paying more attention. Kia has excellent ventilated seats. They don't just take the heat out of the seat. You can actually feel cool air coming through, and it doesn't air condition the air in the seat. It just uses the air conditioning in the car, but it moves enough air through the seat that it feels very cool, and it's excellent. You don't have to have it on full blast to make it work quite comfortable, so that's just something to know. Jumping out of there, my mother, sorry, I don't know if I lost anybody there. My mother was trying to FaceTime call me, and I'm filming with my phone right now, so Mom, you're gonna have to wait. Hopefully my dad's watching, he can tell her to wait. All right, a couple things you've got going on here. Drive modes. Yeah, it lost me in the back now. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I received a phone call, and that doesn't work at 2 o'clock. So that was my mom calling, so I just declined my mom for you guys. So if that doesn't deserve a like on the video, I don't know what does. Drive modes in this car are pretty cool. In a gasoline car, you have Eco, Normal, Sport in the same type of setting. Gasoline car changes the shift points. That's the real big thing it does in a gasoline car, but you do feel a real difference in these drive modes when you switch Eco, Normal, and Sport. You see a slight range difference there. Sport 439, Eco 465, and Normal is 451. So again, most of the EV drivers I know drive regularly in Eco. You still have full access to all of the torque in this car, 291 foot-pounds of torque, 201 horsepower in this model, 139, I believe, in the other car. I'll double check that, 134, 139. Same torque in both. But you can see the range changes because it does use a little more power to do one or the other. It really makes the throttle quite sensitive. In sport mode, you can quite easily spin the tires at, you know, a stop, and at city speeds, you can put a lot of torque to the power because you're putting that torque to the ground instantly. And you can see the gauges kind of change there a little bit. So left side in eco mode, right over here, there's just a circle there. Is the steering more heavy in sport mode? Okay, so that's a good question. I don't think so, but I could be wrong on that. It doesn't feel more heavy to me, but it does in the Soul. My dad and I were talking about this the other day because he has a Nero EV. I do think, and we both sort of feel the Soul is a little bit sportier than the Nero. I don't know if it's just my car has the smaller battery pack, so it feels a little more zippy, maybe with the same torque, but it is less horsepower, so you do feel that little bit less horsepower when you get up to highway speeds. You still got tremendous passing power at highway speeds, but it is a little different. I don't think the steering changes. It used to, but I can't guarantee it does. It doesn't change a lot. What does change a lot is the feel of the brake pedal and regenerative braking. We can talk about that a little bit later as well. Smart cruise control standard on every Kia Soul EV. Amazing, works really well. You also have lane keep assist, which just came on right down there. Let me see if I can get it clear. There we go. In the center of your screen there. Not very clear. I'm trying, guys. Lane keep assist and lane follow assist. That is a really accurate lane keeping assist. And what it does is it keeps you fully centered in the lane. Sort of steers itself and nudges the steering wheel back on its own. Very intuitive system, very good system. And again, it sounds really creepy to someone who really likes to have, you know, a bit of a control freak like myself. I like to have control over the car myself, but I use it all the time. It is an awesome system, keeps you centered, keeps you safe, especially if you're sitting there and you're touching something here. You take your eyes off the road for a second, you know the car is going to stay fully centered in the lane. You're not going to drift into another lane. It works really, really well. Paddle shifters are not paddle shifters. They change your regeneration. So you can do at a tap, you can reduce your regeneration to brakes, and you can make it firmer. What does that mean, actually? Let's just put it in practical terms. When you let off the gas in an electric car, when you let off the throttle in an electric car, what it does is it gives you braking. It actually turns your brake lights on. You can have that more or less. So essentially you can one pedal drive is what Tesla calls it. And it's really the exact same thing in this car. In my experience with a Tesla, it's more adjustable in this car because you can do that from your fingertips. You can also change the settings. You can change the settings per drive mode. A lot of customization in that feature. So does anybody have any questions about the cars? I got 20 minutes in. I'm definitely willing to do, oh, I got my lights turned off here. They sense motion. There we go. There's no brake pedal. There absolutely is a brake pedal. There's a gas and a brake, but when you release the throttle, you know how a gas car kind of slows down, and if you gear down, it slows down even more? When you release the gas pedal, or the throttle in this car, they do have a stronger brake feel. And if you ever see an EV pass you, like let's say you're on a country road, especially a Kia Soul EV, so they pass you on a country road and then they pull in front of you, they're not actually braking. The brake lights will turn on, but they are not actually braking in front of you. They're just releasing that gas pedal quickly enough that the regenerative brakes turn on and it shows the car is effectively braking. So there's a few times where when you let off the gas, those brake lights will shine. And I say gas, when you let off the throttle pedal, the brake lights shine. So it is kind of a different way to drive. You can make this car drive like a gas car, but most people quite like that regenerative braking. No roof rails, and can they be added? So short answer is yes, there is no roof rails. Actually, the 2020 Kia Soul has no roof rails unless you get the GT line package in Canada. It's all about fuel efficiency, making the car a little bit more slipstream-like. You cannot add them in a package. What I do recommend is two brands I recommend are Thule and Yakima. Those are both aftermarket brands. Kia has a relationship with Thule, so if you get aftermarket bars from us that clip on the top of the car, they clip on extremely tightly, firmly. I'm a kayaker. You can put your stuff up there without any problem. But those are, you can go to your Kia dealer and get those. Those are the two brands I recommend. If you're taking a lot of stuff with you, you can certainly use them. You just can't, you can't get those factory cross rails from here or side rails from there. Why show the brake lights if it confuses other drivers? Well, it doesn't actually confuse other drivers. That's a good, okay, so these are good questions. The reason the brake lights come on is because the car actually is braking. The motor in the front can cause braking in the front wheels, and it can be balanced out with brakes in the rear wheels. And that can happen by just releasing the gas pedal, not only from, so if I'm on the gas, I call it gas, but we'll just use gas pedal. On the gas pedal and on the brake pedal. On a regular gas car, the lights don't come on until you hit the brakes. On this car, if you release the pedal quickly or enough, the car does actually brake, and when the car is braking, it does turn on its brake lights. So just so you're aware, when you let off the gas pedal and you feel the car really start to slow down, the brake lights are on, even though your foot may not have touched the brake yet. It makes way more sense when you drive it. Works very, very well. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me see. Ignore my mom. Yep, you guys all decided with me to ignore my mom's phone call. That's good. Okay. I think that's all the questions you guys had now. So we're going to dig through a couple things about charging, reliability, those kinds of things. Lights also in Regen Mode 1. So basically, that's a good question. If the car is braking enough that a regular car, will it come to a full stop without actually braking? It can, absolutely. Especially if you want to hold the left side regenerative braking, it will. If you just release the gas, it'll go, on my car, it tends to go down to, I'm just guessing here, around 5 to 10 kilometers an hour before you have to just touch the brakes to continue stopping. So you can let off the gas, it'll slow right down to a stoplight. All you do is touch the brake at a stoplight, and then you can go back on the throttle and keep going. So yeah, kind of something cool. I didn't realize not many people knew that. A very different drive, or it can be a very different drive. You can make it work like a gasoline vehicle. You can have it coast and coast and coast just like a gas vehicle would. The difference is you can take advantage of that brake. And so basically what you do is the same thing in a gas car. If you need to release the gas but stay on the gas in a gas car, you kind of do that. You don't hit the brakes unless you need to. With this one, you can release the gas, and then you release the gas a little more, it'll slow down even more. So it's very intuitive to drive, but it does react differently, and most people quite like it. So we're 23 minutes in. If I've earned your like in this video, feel free to hit my like button. One thing I will say, if you are interested in subscribing to this video or are interested in EVs, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel. I don't often push subscriptions. I know that we post a lot of videos that may not be relevant to you, but we will be receiving that 2020 Nero soon, which is a new revised model. And like I said, we're looking to sell a bunch of them. So if you want to see those Nero EVs, just subscribe to our channel and I'll make sure you'll get notified about our videos, our EV videos especially. Okay, let me just jump in. We're going to talk about charging. Okay, there we go. Charging is a complicated thing with EVs. People look at maximum charge time, so let's just talk about maximum charge times. This car, 248 kilometers range. I drive this car every day. I get 300 kilometers of range in this weather, so 300 is really what I'm getting. I never dropped below 200 in the winter. We're going to talk about winter in about 3-4 minutes, but real quick on charging. When you charge this car, 6.5 hours from empty to full. That one's about 9.5, so 6-ish, 9-ish hours to full. It can vary a little bit based on your charger, based on a few different things, but I'm gonna say 6-ish and 9-ish in real world charging. The thing is, you don't actually take that long to charge because You never sit there and drive, like that's car sitting at 451 kilometers, 465 in the eco mode, which is how I would drive it every day. I only use the sport mode or the normal mode every now and then. Really, I don't use normal mode at all. Eco mode is plenty of power. So 465 kilometers, you're not gonna drive that every day. You're gonna do your 100, 120, 300 kilometers in a day. So let's say even you do 300 kilometers, think about the percentage of 9 hours you're gonna charge, right? Let's just make it simple. Let's say, well, let's do this car because this is a car that I drive. It takes 6 hours to charge on a regular thing. I get 300 kilometers. If I do 200 kilometers, it's only 4 hours till it's back full again on a level 2 charger. And the fact is, the way I drive, I've been able to do a level 1 charger. What is a level 1 charger? It's right here. Let me just show you. You can plug this car into the wall the same way you plug in your cell phone. See, there's a regular plug, then you have this box there, and then you have the handle behind. So box in front of me there, that's kind of like a controller. It's got a display on there, and that piece right there plugs in the front. I plug my car into the wall the same way I plug my cell phone into the wall. Yes, it takes over 30 hours to charge from empty, but what I find is the driving that I do, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is, each day brings it right back up to full. So I'm able to, with my driving, to get by with no charger, and you may be the same. What I recommend to 99% of the people that drive these cars is get a level 2 charger in your house. It's not that expensive, it's not that bad. It's about $700 to $1,200 depending on what you want to do. A lot of houses are pre-wired to handle them. And then you're at about 6 hours for this car, about 9 hours for this car. And again, you're really only putting 2 hours in at a time for most people's use cases because you're not driving that much. But if you need to, you can. The flip side is on the road, you can fast charge these cars. This car, about an hour and 20 minutes or so, you can go 80% of your charge. So that's quite a bit of charge over a lunch stop. What I've done a couple times where I've had to fast charge is I wasn't quite gonna make it home. So what I did on this car, again, my car's the same, is I wasn't quite gonna make it home. 15 minutes on a fast charger was way more than I needed just to make it home, and off I go. And you can still find free charging out there. I'm not a huge advocate for free charging. You save so much money on these anyways. You need to be able to pay people to put charge stations in, and then you'll get more charge stations around, but we'll talk about that later. So charging is not a big deal on these cars, especially this one over here. This is a real replacement for a gas car because you can go just about anywhere. And again, where the previous Kia Soul went 179 kilometers of range, really after 130 kilometers, you're looking for a charge station or panicking. My parents drive their Kia Niro EV to Florida each year, and they drive down there, you know, and basically they can drive, you know, do you want to go 300 kilometers? Oh, you know what, let's go an extra 100 kilometers, and then we'll get that charge station instead. That's what happens in the current level of Soul EVs with the real world range that they're getting. What trims are these? This is a limited, and that is a premium. So these are the only 2 EVs you can get in Canada, and that's the real difference is size of the battery, a little bit difference in torque. I think the motor is actually physically the same, but they're downrated a little bit. They haven't said that, but they each make 291 foot-pounds of torque. That one is a little bit smaller battery than this one, therefore the range difference. That one has no leather, no ambient lighting, no heads-up display, but outside they look almost identical. Actually, outside they look exactly identical, and that's, no sunroof in this one as well. So very similar there. I want to talk really quickly winter, because winter's another thing that we hit. And again, I'm doing a quick overview here, guys, so if you want to know more about these things, just ask us. We'll give you any information we can. Winter is one of those things that people get a little worried about because EVs do lose range in the winter. Again, with the range you're getting in these cars, for most people, it's not a big deal. You know, I drove that car all winter. Again, it has 300-ish kilometers of real-world range for me. It stayed above 200 all winter. Now that's 200 with winter tires. So let's talk really quickly winter tires. Actually, Eric, I'm gonna jump to your comment in a second. I see it there, I'm gonna read it 1 second. These eco tires, they're great for fuel mileage. They're not so great in the winter. Let's just be really honest about that. So there's a couple reasons I want you to get winter tires with these cars. One, gives you better traction in the winter. Yes, it will slightly affect your range because the winter tires are not as low rolling resistance, but you're gonna get better range. So what happens when you put winter tires on is mechanics who deal with regular cars, with gasoline cars, they're very used to recommending services based on oil changes. So they know they're gonna see you the next 6,000 kilometers. So they sit there and they look at your brakes and they say, you know what, they can wait till the next oil change. Well, here's what happens with EVs. Brakes can last a very, very, very long time because you don't have to or you're not using as much brake pad because you have that regenerative braking. So what happens is, EV buyers will go 2 years without taking their car in for service, and they'll have brake issues because there's some wear and some rust and some other stuff. You need to do brake services on these cars. Basically keep things lubricated, make sure there's no corrosion in there, and so that the brake pads grab and release without any problems. Sometimes what they do in a gas car as well, they'll grab, but they won't release if there's some corrosion in there. And on electric vehicles, you're probably a little more prone to having that happen because the brakes have to work a lot less and have to move a lot less. So what you're going to do is you're going to service your brakes maybe once a year. Just depends on what they recommend, but we recommend around once a year, every 24,000 kilometers or so, whatever works for you, or whatever your car requires. What happens when you take winter tires on these cars is if you do your swaps at the dealer, the technician knows he's going to see you roughly twice a year, every 6 months or so. What that does is he can look at your brakes and go, yep, you know what, you'll be fine this summer, but we may do a brake service this fall, or you'll be fine the fall, let's leave it till spring, and they can make better recommendations for you. And that actually helps save you a lot of maintenance costs. Again, no oil changes on these cars, so you're not coming in at your 6,000 kilometers like you normally would. We like to see them twice a year just to keep things up. You do get software updates in them. There are things that they can do to improve it, and just to keep an eye on things like ball joints. All the inspections we do at a dealership, we don't just do an oil change, we do a service. When getting winter tires, what are the recommended wheels to use for them? So that's a good question. These come with 17-inch Kia Soul wheels. You will need to stay with 17-inch. On the gas model Soul, you can go to a 16-inch wheel, which means you have a little bit smaller metal and a little bit thicker rubber, or a bigger sidewall. You do have to stay with 17-inch wheels. I happened to score identical wheels for my winter car, but you can get steel wheels as well. You can get alloy wheels, whatever you like. Let me just jump to your questions because we are over the 30-minute mark, and I want to honor everybody's time, make sure I get their questions in 30 minutes. Eco alloy steel. Okay, so the wheels I have, these wheels are a little bit more aerodynamic. I don't think that matters as much as some people say. Certainly the tire is contributing more than the wheel, I would say, to fuel efficiency. But you can get alloy if you want. You can get, we have people get alloy, we have people that get steel, so either one. I don't know, yeah, my personal opinion is an alloy wheel is a little lighter. It might help efficiency, but I don't think the wheel itself is going to make enough of a difference in efficiency that you're going to really notice. Because keep in mind in the winter, your biggest rolling resistance is going to be slushy weather, wet weather, those kinds of things. So whatever you're going to save in aerodynamics is probably going to be lost anyways in just a little bit of slush, a little bit of rain on the roads, those kinds of things. Let me just answer your questions here. I'm a Kia Soul fan. I love the Kia Soul. I have 2020 Soul GT lineup. Yeah, it is an awesome car. Okay, Eric says, level 2 charge stations are for local drivers and don't have access to power at home. Yes. I always charge at home other than when I'm more than 150 kilometers home. Yeah, okay, so real quick, charging, there's sort of an etiquette about charging, but basically you want to leave the fast chargers for those that really need them as they're traveling. So I always equate fast charging, that 1 hour charge and 80, yeah, could I turn on the headlights? I absolutely will. Fast charging, I always consider it, and I'm not a health expert, but it's kind of like eating pizza. You can eat pizza every day and every meal. It's just not good for you long term, but there's nothing wrong with having pizza every now and then. Fast charging should be treated the same way. You can fast charge when you need to, but don't fast charge more than you need to. Speaking of best practices, a lot of us are now keeping these cars charged to 80%. You can set that up to charge to only 80%, and then we're not going below 20%. Again, same idea with pizza. If you have to charge above 80% because you need it that day, then go do charge above 80%, and if you have to run below 20%, go ahead and do that. But doing that every day, in theory, can affect overall longevity of the batteries. Not something I'm hugely concerned about because what we're seeing in most times with these cars is even after a lot of kilometers or a couple years now, we're not seeing a whole lot of degradation in the batteries, but even if you got some degradation, as you can see, if you're buying it because it has 383 kilometers of range, you got to lose a lot of range in the summer to actually get down to 383. This one's at 465 in the eco mode, so we're pretty good about staying in that range. So buy something realistically, understand what the range is, and you should be fine. Okay, let me just jump to the bottom here. Can I turn on the headlights? I will. Let me just see if there's anything else. When getting winter, oh, sorry. What kind of tires are delivered in summer or winter? Is it Nexen? Okay, so good question. These ones happen to be Nexen tires, I believe. Yes, there they are. Nexen tires right there. I don't know if you can read it. On the Kia Niro, you do get Michelin tires. Are they better? Are they worse? I'm not sure. I'm fine with these eco tires. I do think on my personal car, I'm going to wear them fairly quickly. I like to drive a little aggressively with the amount of power, and I'm probably going to wear out my front wheels a little quicker. So my car is not going to be a great example of tire life, just to be fully blunt, but you can get Michelins and Nexens there. Headlights, let's just turn them on. They are the best headlights in the industry in my mind, or at least among the best headlights in the industry. Come on, camera, come around. Gonna turn this car on. We'll turn both cars on, actually. Well, we just need one. They're both identical in lighting. Headlights are on, fog lights are on, rear lights are on. We'll turn the signals on as well. So when I say they're the best lights in the industry, you do have LED signal lights there. You have right down here, oh, this one's got the climate just cranked, so let me just turn that noise off. You do hear the fans outside these cars when the climate is cranked. So you have LED running lights that run along here. They don't look like they're lights here. Do you have a recommendation for winter tires? We can talk about that, yeah, 1 second. Right down there is, you can see this daytime running light starts to flash. That's just the way it reacts to the camera. But there's your headlights, very sharp cutoff, extremely white light, and then you also have the same thing down here with your fog lights. They're extremely bright as well. That white light, I don't know if you can sort of see here, maybe on the wall. Nice sharp cutoff with the fog lights as well. Excellent fog lights, and you have excellent LED signal lights there. They're extremely bright, but because they have that sharp cutoff, they're not in anybody else's eyes unless they're really short, and they work really well, so you get that modern luxury car look. Out back, you have the same type of thing over here. LED lighting all the way around, same as a regular gas Kia Soul. You don't have LED signal lights out back, which is interesting, and so you do have those LED lights around there. The brake lights are in the center there. There's one in the center there and one in the center down there. So that's how they work. Well, hold on. Sorry, my computer's not scrolling down, so I couldn't see on my screen some of your comments. I just want to jump to them. We are going to try to keep this to 40 minutes unless we feel a reason to keep going. Climate fans are not the largest source of noise in the car. So they are the largest, yes, exactly. So if I pull up and my climate system's going, that is definitely the largest noise. Is the limited full LED? Yes, both, no. Both cars have identical lighting. So the rear signal lights are not LED, but as you can see, all the other lights that we showed you are LED on the car, and they're identical lighting on both cars, so no difference in either car. Somebody asked about tires. So really with tires, all I would say is I would not go with any kind of eco winter tire. I would just go with something that you're comfortable with for longevity, for you, for your conditions. If you're in an area that gets lots of icy roads, get good ice tires. If you're in an area that gets a lot of snow, maybe get a little more aggressive tread, those kind of things. I would not worry about efficiency because a couple things go on with electric vehicles. First of all, you have stability control, traction control, all of those things. They rely on wheel speed sensors. The more traction you give these tires, the better they're going to be able to handle that stability control, that ABS, the traction control. One thing I will say with EVs, you can instantly apply power and instantly kill power. The traction control on these cars is phenomenal. I would say it's even better than a gasoline car. So giving yourself traction is going to make this car amazing in the winter. I quite like driving it in the winter. It is very good traction control. So if you do slip, the more traction you give yourself, the better. And you do have a lot of power. So just pay attention to your roads. Worrying about an eco tire for most people is not going to make enough of a difference given the road conditions to justify some sort of less good tire for traction. So just focus on traction, same way you would with some of your other cars, and that's probably going to be paying off better for you. You may have different priorities than me, but that's my recommendation. What's the thing called that gives a car a smooth ride, like not bumpy? Suspension? I don't know. How do they drive? They drive very well. So I'm going to show you real quick underneath the car. That panel right there, I don't know if I can get a little closer here. This is a shield. My camera mount doesn't let me do what I want to do here. But there's an aluminum shield right underneath there, a little silver line there. That shield is sort of a shield for the battery. The battery is underneath the floor. If you ever get in a gasoline Soul, the real difference you're going to see in the rear seat, the floor in this one is just a little bit higher in the rear seat. So you have the battery sticking down an inch and maybe up an inch, and you have a battery pack down the bottom there. Very hidden. It's not in your cargo area at all. We can show cargo area if you guys are interested. I've done it in other videos, but that's what you're dealing with an EV. Put bluntly, guys, EVs drive better than gasoline cars. I did an EV information night, and I showed all these old car ads, and they said, the new model of this car is quieter, the new model of this car is more efficient, the new model of this car is more powerful. EVs are more powerful to drive. They have that instant torque, and it's a lot of torque. They are quieter for sure, and they tend to handle fairly well because the weight's down low, and they're certainly more efficient. So they are better to drive in almost every way, unless you need the noise, which again, some people say they need the noise. I'm not sure that's the case in most people's cars. If you're driving a Toyota Camry, you don't need noise. LA streets are terrible. Yeah, you should try Canadian streets. Sometimes they're not the best either with the potholes that can develop all winter. So you have to be, it is very, can you upgrade the suspension? I don't think you need to upgrade the suspension on these cars. They are very well balanced. They're very smooth. They're a firm, sort of athletic ride, very German engineering kind of thing, but they drive very well. All right, we hit 40 minutes. That's probably as long as I want to go. Unless you guys have a couple questions, I'm certainly willing to answer them. Got 27 people online. If anybody wants to just do me a favor, hit the like button. Hopefully I've earned your like at this point. You know, we just try to do what we can here, but likes are important for us on YouTube. And again, if I can earn your subscription, that'd be great as well. Is there trunk space under the hood? Absolutely not. Let me just show you real quick under the hood. So because these are built on a sort of modified Kia Soul platform, what you end up with is this over here. There we go. You have an EV motor, an electric motor underneath there, and you have a car battery, which surprises some people. That is a regular 12-volt battery. And you can see this whole thing, maybe you can't see, but this whole thing is lower down than it would be in a gasoline car, gasoline engine. A lot of more space out here, a lot of space around it. So this cover actually makes it look larger than what you do have in there. The reason we have that is it's all designed for crash tests. This car's already been sort of pre-set up for crash testing by putting all the motor stuff there, front end collision, it goes underneath. There's a company in Europe making frunks for Kia. Oh, I didn't know about that. So there you go. But right now, we do not use that space for storage. They do have the normal size trunk in the Kia Soul, which is a decent sized trunk. But right now it's not. There are future EVs being built by Kia, and I would expect you will see some of that in the future. But for cost of building, keep in mind the cost of these cars is significantly less than something like a Tesla. Especially when you consider features, we certainly come under the Tesla and something like that. So you don't get some of that just because the manufacturing processes are already made for these. All right, 42 minutes in, just gonna double check questions. I think we're gonna wrap it up right there. Yeah, that's all we got. Okay, so really quickly, again, if you're just finishing at the end of this video, we wanna earn your EV business. I've seen problems with people buying from dealers where they think they're getting a great deal and then they find out they haven't got the support of the dealership. Do us a favor, come to us. We're a leader for a reason. We also have great pricing on our servicing. These cars do need servicing. You need to understand what they need. You need to be able to walk through with your service advisor how that all works and the pricing of that. So come to us for that type of reason, or at least you can refer to us if you don't live locally. We can give you some guides on that. And we want to sell you these. Also, if you're waiting for the Nero EV, we've got 9 on order. That's a big popular car. 3 of them are pre-sold. They may all be pre-sold when they get here, but that's up to you. If you'd like to buy one, please feel free to give us a call, 509-304-6542. All right, we've got a long time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you have any questions, just ask us in the comments below, and we'll continue to do EV videos coming up, but we'll also answer your individual questions there. So hopefully that's good. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a lovely afternoon. And we'll see you again tomorrow.